Other thing I wanted to talk about tonight was the auto strike. And I might go into more detail about this tomorrow, but one of the things I wanted to bring up is Biden's impossible task when it comes to the auto strike. Because in reality, he has a near impossible task. Because no matter what he does, it's lose-lose for him. Because unless he gets the perfect deal for labor, unless he manages to get everything he wants for labor is going to be mad. And if he caves in at all at any bit and gives the auto industry anything in helping the negotiations, if he comes in and he helps the negotiations and the big three automakers get anything at all, then the people who support labor and labor in and of itself is going to be like, oh, Biden supports the big automakers. Even if the labor gets like 80% and the automakers get 20% of what they want and labor gets 80% they want, you're going to have the extreme leftists going, oh, Biden just is a giveaway to the automakers and to the billionaires and blah, blah, blah. They're going to complain and whine and moan, and Biden can't do it. Biden's a shill for big corporations. They're going to whine and moan and complain about that. And if he didn't step in, they would complain that he's not doing enough for labor. So he has to step in. But if he steps in and doesn't strong arm the corporations, then what do you do? But if he steps in and if it ends up being that the deal that labor gets is overly burdensome and kills the auto industry, I mean, I don't know if it is or it isn't. I haven't looked too much into the deal to know whether or not. I mean, from what it sounds like, I mean, that's a lot. It's a big 40% raise is across the board is what I'm hearing, and if that's true, that's a lot. I mean, I have no problem with labor getting everything it deserves. And labor should get it. And labor did give up a lot to help the auto industry make it through the lean years and should be rewarded for doing so. And the auto industry should stop being a bunch of whiny bitches and should make sure that labor is well compensated. I'm not necessarily buying the argument from the union that there shouldn't be like gradual like there shouldn't be pay increases as you go along. Like, why shouldn't somebody with seniority make more money? Like, if you have more experience, that's less training you to do, that you could be more efficient on a job, why not let somebody with 20 years more experience make more money than somebody who's new on the job? Like, I don't necessarily know if I get that argument, but I'm open to the argument as to why it should be the other way, why everybody there should be making the same amount of money. Fine, I'll listen. That's fine. I'll listen to that argument. So I'm not quite getting the whole why we shouldn't have tiers. Now I get the whole temporary worker argument. That's a whole different thing, and I understand why you would not want temporary workers versus full-time workers. I'm sure unions want full-time workers and full-time labor. I don't understand why you would want the first-year workers to get more money. I understand why you would want the long-term workers to also have more money. I don't understand why somebody working there 2 years should be making the same amount of money as somebody who would maybe working there 15. I don't understand that argument. And somebody could explain that to me if they wanted to. Fine. Maybe I'll look into that more, and we can go into more discussion about that tomorrow, perhaps. But again, that back to why Biden's task is impossible. So Biden, again, if he doesn't give labor, get labor 100% of what they want, and if the automakers get just a little bit of what they want at the negotiating table, the whiny left. And look, I'm part of the left, but I'm not part of the whiny left. The whiny left is going to be like, oh, he gave away too much to the automakers. He's just in their pockets. That's why he's a conservative. He's no better than a Republican. On the other side of the coin, if it was Trump who was president right now and this was going on, and they were having this strike. And if Trump came in and the labor unions got 5% of what they were asking for, everyone would be like, "Look how wonderful Donald Trump is. He got the labor unions this little pittance, and it's so good of him to support labor like he does. He got them a little bit of money. Yay, Donald Trump." And everybody would be singing his praises for getting labor a little bit of money. Because, oh, he loves the workers so much. And he would be out there like, "I love the workers are so good. And I made sure that they got more pay because they're the workers and they love me for giving them more money." And people would be singing his praises. And even the far left, look, he made sure that the labor got more money and he stuck it to those rich. I'm like, it's ridiculous. Like, Trump would get the credit for that, but Biden would get the blame for, even though Biden would be getting them more stuff than Trump would ever make sure that labor would get. It's just like the whole train deal. Like when Biden stopped the strike and to make sure that the rails would keep going, and everyone complained that Biden stopped the rails strike from going on because we needed the rails to continue to keep working. But then, because Biden's not Trump and doesn't like to air everything publicly, the Biden administration kept working behind the scenes to try and get things done. And then he eventually got the deal done behind the scenes. And then they announced, "Hey, we got this deal done." And everyone's like, "Oh, well, that's good. Biden got this done. Good for him." But he didn't get fanfare for it. Everyone just still remembers, oh, Biden came in and busted up the strike. He didn't get credit for the fact that he worked behind the scenes to make sure that labor got what it ultimately wanted, or got a deal that was better than, what it initially had once the strike was, quote, busted. Like, he never gets the credit for what he does. Mostly because he doesn't make a big show of it. That's because he's the adult in the room and Donald Trump is a baby. He's a whiny baby who has to make a big show of everything because to him, everything is all about him. Because, just remember, Trump is the one who wanted the giant military parade down the streets of Washington, D.C., not to honor the country, not to honor the military, but to honor him. Because everything would be for him and nobody else. And that's the way it is. That's what I want it to be. Everything for me, because I'm the best president ever. And everyone was like, oh, that's just Trump being Trump. And that's what happens with Republicans all the time too. Everyone looks at Republicans and just say, oh, that's just Republicans being Republicans. So we just kind of shake our heads like, oh, silly Republicans, they're just being Republicans. But then the Democrats, don't get everything that everyone wants, and everyone's like, oh, the Democrats are terrible. Let's vote for Republicans because the Democrats didn't give us everything we wanted, so therefore they suck, and we're going to let the Republicans win this time. Because the people are fickle. And if they can't get everything they want from the Democrats, they'll let the Republicans win. Stupidly. And that's why we struggle so much. That's why we lost Roe v. Wade. That's why we lost the Supreme Court. That's why we lost the House of Representatives this last election in 2022. People need to wake the hell up and stop being fickle.